The Walleye walleye. It's Minnesota's state fish and easily the most popular fish in our Northland outdoors. Finding them and catching them has been the goal since the first fisherman wetted a line. But how we find them and how we catch them has changed more for walleyes than almost any species, especially in the last 10 years. We're talking modern day walleye fishing right now on Northland Outdoors.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Northland Outdoors Television. Yes, it's March. Spring is still quite a ways off, but it's hard when things start to get warm to not get that itch for open water fishing. And for me, the best way to scratch that itch is to spend a little time here in the garage in the Ray's Marine Lund Pro Guide and try to get things ready for open water. We'll go through and organize all the tackle, and then we'll make sure that the Garmin's are all cleaned up, electronics are ready to go, batteries charged, and that sort of thing. But as I was going through stuff today, I got to thinking, boy, how much has changed in fishing since that very first time my dad put me on a bench seat of a 14-foot Lund and took me out fishing, till what we do today. In a lot of aspects, it's really not even recognizable anymore. And it's changed for catching all species. But one species in particular, especially over the last 10 years or so, has really changed probably the most, and I'm talking about walleyes. With advancements in electronics, how we find walleyes is incredibly different than we used to, and where we find them, and then how we catch them once we find them. Used to be a live bait only game, not anymore. Especially advancements in soft plastics. These baits today are incredible. So it's all about modern day walleye fishing today, and we're going to start with an in-depth look at the new soft plastics.
Using artificial baits for walleyes isn't new. Anglers have been trolling crankbaits and catching fish for many years. But it's the advancements in soft plastics that have all but eliminated the need for live bait when targeting walleyes in any location. It starts for me in the early spring when walleyes are feeding in shallow emerging weeds. This is big plastic, heavy jig time.
Plastic guys are pretty easy. Fusion 19 1/2 ounce swim jig head, power bait 4-inch ripple shad. Blue and white. The bait keepers on these Fusion 19 swim jig heads are unbelievable. Push her up on that bait keeper and I guarantee you can't pull that sucker off of there. Here's the other interesting thing. I've actually got a wire leader on. This lake is filled with tiny pike. If you didn't have one of these, you'd go through about 25 of these. And the walleyes don't really care. Weed edge, weed flat. Straight downwind, long cast. Give it a quick 2 or 3 count on a tight line. A lot of times you'll get bit on the fall, and it's just lift, drop.
I think of it as bass fishing for walleyes, and casting and retrieving big paddle-tail plastics in the spring really works.
What do you think of that magic, Marv? Plastic eyes. Gotta love it. Oh, man.
Fast-moving, aggressive soft plastics in the spring are incredible.
25.5.
But it's not the only time plastics are effective.
25.5. Middle of the day.
We'll talk summertime walleyes when we come back.
Goodbye.
Ray's Sport and Marine is your family-owned local headquarters for fishing and pontoon boats. From brands such as Lund, Crestliner, Viaggio, Bennington, and more. Stop in today to check out our great selection of 2025 models and get out on the water this summer. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the perfect boat. Ray's Sport and Marine, your pontoon and fishing boat headquarters. Now open in Alexandria.
We are out on a splendid Sunday morning. We're gonna go catch some fish.
You come to a place like Devil's Lake and you hear stories. You want to get out there and you want to find a monster.
Everything that you read about Devil's Lake, it's true.
Been guiding up here for almost 15 years, and it is absolutely the most astounding fishery that I've ever been to, and I've been all over the U.S.
I reeled in the biggest one of my life. That was a pretty special experience to me.
Plan your next adventure at devilslakend.com.
Northland Outdoors is brought to you by Ray's Sport and Marine, when your passion is the water. Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Discover your next adventure. Staybill Mount, rock solid mounting systems. And by Muscatel Burns Ford. Get your next Ford from Ward. Welcome back to Northland Outdoors. We're talking modern day walleye fishing and soft plastics for walleye in particular. Springtime is incredible for casting soft plastics, but the bulk of the walleye season is the warm water season, when most old school walleye anglers look for walleyes in deeper, cooler water. But walleyes love food more than anything, and there are always fish in shallow weeds and susceptible to casting plastics.
Another jig plastic walleye. Look at this, middle of the day. It's 1:45 in the afternoon, and that fish was up in 14 feet of water. Film and net all at the same time. Let's see. This is a good way to lose a fish. Walleyes love weeds and they love plastics, even in the middle of the summer. Gulp minnow is inhaled. Middle of the day, middle of the summer, 26-inch walleye. Beautiful.
But plastics aren't only effective in shallow water casting situations. Minnow imitators like the Berkeley Gulp minnow are excellent midsummer, deep water, vertical jigging baits. The combination of action, scent, and flavor make them an irresistible target for feeding fish. Also, with plastics, you, the angler, have complete control over the action of your bait, whether it's a slow lift and fall or an extremely aggressive snap jig. You impart the action depending on the mood of the fish.
Deep water, soft plastic. This is kind of a unique situation too when we talk about using these plastics. And the gulp minnows are pretty soft, right? And that's what makes them good. But then they also wear out pretty fast. But I don't chuck them right away. This is a 4-incher. And when the head gets worn out and he starts slipping off, I just bite him off about an inch down and put him back on, and now I got a 3-inch gulp minnow, and as you can see, works just fine. Beautiful, beautiful 20-inch walleye. See you later, pal. Oh!
And plastics aren't just for jigs anymore. Take the classic midsummer bottom bouncer and spinner. Once exclusively a live nightcrawler presentation, but not anymore, as we proved on a recent trip to Devil's Lake.
Well, there's another nice Devil's Lake eater. Fell victim to a simple little rig that I've been using all summer long. It's a 1.1 max smile blade, a couple beads, a single hook, and what I do different than I think most is the Berkeley artificial bait. That's a Berkeley Gulp minnow, 3-inch.
shallow, deep, fast or slow, jigged or trolled, and from opening day to under the ice. Today's soft plastics are proven walleye catchers and need to be a part of your modern day walleye arsenal. When Northland Outdoors returns, we move from how we catch modern day walleyes to how we find them, and the hot button topic of forward-facing sonar. Stay tuned.
On it. Got them.
Muscatel Burns Ford is your Ford truck headquarters in Hawley. Be sure to check out our selection on-site or online. Ask about complimentary local pickup and delivery for your next oil change. We're newly expanded to serve you even faster. New or used for work or play, Muscatel Burns Ford on Highway 10 in Hawley. Hey, get your next Ford from Ward.
This segment of Northland Outdoors is brought to you by Devil's Lake, North Dakota. With something for everyone in every season. Discover your next adventure in Devil's Lake. When it comes to modern day walleye fishing, nothing has changed more than how we find them. Advancements in electronics are the reason. It all starts with precision contour mapping, and units like our Garmin EchoMap systems take it to a whole new level.
You know, one of the neatest features about the new Garmin EchoMap units, in my opinion, is the quick draw feature. Now, the maps that come with these units are incredible. The Navionics mapping that's integrated into the Garmin systems are really tremendous, detailed maps, but every lake is got little nuances. Every piece of structure has got a little bit of a different feel to it than maybe the base maps can show. And when you're always looking for that spot on the spot, that little point of weeds or that little inside turn where there's could hold fish, the quick draw feature is amazing. Now what we have here is just a classic large weed flat that comes out surrounded by deep water. Okay, and as you can see, we've got 2 foot increments on here. The map is very detailed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the quick draw feature, and I'm going to cruise this entire point, and we'll see the before and after shots of what this structure looks like with the original integrated map, and then after we get done going over it with the quick draw feature. So our map's redrawn now. It only took a few minutes to go over the whole thing, and we can see very plainly we turned off the quick draw feature, and now we're going to take a look at what we ended up with on that weed flat. Now we're going to put, we can still do a little bit more drawing around the edges here, but the main part obviously is this is the point of the flat. And when we put the two side by side, the original, you can see it shows the general contour of that map and it would work just fine, but now we have so much more detail, like this little point that kicks out right here, these inside turns, another little point over here, and so much more detail because we actually just drew it all by driving over it.
With the best locations pinpointed, we turn to an advancement in sonar technology that has become a real hot button issue in the world of walleye fishing: forward-facing sonar. And there's no question it has dramatically changed what we know about where walleyes live and how they react to our baits.
There he goes. Oh! Try again.
Now, my opinion on live scope and on forward-facing sonars, it's not some evil entity, right? It's not something that's going to completely ruin fishing as we know it. Instead, it's an incredible tool. There we go. Saw that one, and he wasn't far out either. He was only about 20 feet. Look at this. Here we go. Come on in here, buddy. Oh man, tanker. Oh, midsummer, midday. Live scoping walleyes in the weeds. Now he was out off the edge just a little in about 16 feet of water, but look at how he ate that jig and gulp minnow.
Stay tuned. We'll dive deeper into our thoughts on forward-facing sonar right after this.
Fish the famous waters on Minnesota's Lake of the Woods, the walleye capital of the world. Choose from over 50 full-service resorts with options for charter fishing, guide service, and full meal plans, or plan a trip and relax in the vast wilderness scenery. From the northwest angle to the south shore, Rainy River and Baudette, the Midwest's #1 fishing destination. Walleye, sauger, northern pike, and more. Minnesota's Lake of the Woods, best fishing anywhere. Log on to lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Northland Outdoors is brought to you by Ray's Sport and Marine, when your passion is the water. Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Discover your next adventure. Staybill Mount, rock solid mounting systems. And by Muscatel Burns Ford. Get your next Ford from Ward.
Here he comes.
We're talking modern day walleyes today, and nothing is newer or a bigger game changer than forward-facing sonar. For me, that means our Garmin LiveScope Plus system.
And more than ability to catch more fish, it's how it increases our knowledge of fish species and the presentations that we show them. In particular, species like walleyes, where I've grown up my entire life with certain preconceived notions that forward-facing sonar is completely blown out of the water. One in particular, walleyes aren't that aggressive, right? You have to be subtle with a Lindy rig and a bare hook and a minnow or a leech or a jig and something small. Lighter the better, and you gotta dangle it right in front of them to get the bite. No. And the LiveScope has taught us that. Another great lesson, especially when it comes to walleyes, other species as well, but walleyes in particular, is where they live and where they eat, especially during certain times of the day. And we've all heard walleyes a low light fish, early morning, late evening, or at night, correct? And they're a bottom fish, right? You have to be right down within a foot of the bottom in order to catch a walleye? Both of those rumors blown out of the water by LiveScope.
Oh, God.
The other part of learning fish behaviors, right, is you're dispelling all of these old kind of familiar thoughts or beliefs that you had about a specific species of fish. Again, plastic jig gone. That fish, and you'll see it, we're in 24 feet of water, he was 10 feet down in the middle of the day, bright sun, flat calm. Not supposed to happen from a walleye, right? I mean, that's what we've learned? No, but there he was. So again, the ability of forward-facing sonar to see that fish where he was, cast to him and catch him to prove he was who he was, you know, it changes the paradigm. It changes what we know about these fish, and that's awesome. And that's a perfect eater. But guess what? We're going to put him back anyway. Oh, come on. He's on it. Oh, now he left. Come back again. So obviously just tons of controversy about forward-facing sonar now, and I can understand it because the things you can see with these technology is insane, and it really does change things, and it has made me more effective as a fisherman, no doubt about it. I catch more fish. So two things. One, we just got to be more responsible, right? We don't keep everything we catch. We keep what we need for supper, and that's enough. But really the value of forward-facing sonar, in my opinion, is what just happened there, in that we had a fish come up right at the jig, 100 miles an hour. All I was waiting for was that hit, and it didn't happen, and he turned and left. So what you learn with forward-facing sonar is not so much on the fish catches, but when they refuse your bait. And that's where you can learn, well, maybe it's a color, maybe it's a style of bait, or maybe it's your jigging action or something along those lines, and you can change. And then the next time, hopefully you get hooked up. So it's when they don't bite it that you really learn a lot about fish behavior. Got them. That was cool. Oh, this might be the right kind this time. Beautiful. Oh, it's a good fish here, kids. Good fish. Look at this. Wow. Beautiful. Come here. Oh, man. Oh. And there we go again. It's just so, look at that plastic too, the way he ate it. It's right there where you want it, on top of the mouth. You know, folks, forward-facing sonar, like I said before, isn't it some kind of a magic trick, right? It's a tool, it's a great tool. It teaches us so much more about how these fish act and react, especially react to our baits. And in the process, we just become better anglers. But I'm telling you, middle of the day, middle of the summer, plastics, jigs, a little live scope, and you can catch some beautiful walleyes like that one. Awesome.